All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar today. Today we have this special guest speaker, Bobby Capps, who is our rep for Mutual of Omaha. He's our benefit consultant for Mutual of Omaha, and he's going to be talking today about voluntary benefits and why it's very important as an employer for you to consider this for your company as well as your employees. And without further ado, I will turn the time over to Bobby. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you for the intro, Ashley. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy hump day. Thanks for having me and spending some time with me, Ashley, and Christina, just to kind of dive deeper into this voluntary benefits world. Just a quick background on myself. Been with Mutual of Omaha for 4 years. I am a benefits consultant, so I work with brokers, just like Ashley and Christina, to design unique and creative and beneficial benefit plans for our clients. So that's what we're going to dive into a little bit today. Just what are voluntary benefits? Why are they important? And how might you be able to use them creatively to further your benefit package and the attractability of your company for top talent? So we'll go ahead and get started here. There we go. So I want to start off. Everyone knows Dale Carnegie. I hope you do. If not, pick up a book. He's very inspirational. Found this quote from him: "Employees are a company's greatest asset. They're your competitive advantage. You want to attract and retain the best, provide them with the encouragement, stimulus, and make them feel that they are an integral part of the company's mission." If you're in a leadership position, I feel like you would agree with this statement. You know how much it costs for to hire an employee, and let alone, as they progress, they learn and become masters of their craft, and that becomes very valuable. The last thing you want to do is have to turn them over, or they find another opportunity, maybe offers them better pay, or they see something more attractive, right? So you need to be able to provide them with a benefit plan, with incentive to stay motivated and stay at your company. Like he said at the very end, make them feel that they are an integral part of your mission. And that's exactly what employee benefits are. So we'll go like very, very brief history. I'm sure you guys all understand employee benefits for the most part. They've been around for a really long time. We're talking about the 1800s, during the Industrial Revolution. It was kind of a segue from, hey, the world went from like farming and agriculture, and now there's a bunch of manufacturing and steel and machine jobs. And, instead of being, farming and agriculture where there's just certain seasons of the year that produce a steady income and then the rest is like dead, now you have manufacturing that's consistent and it's booming. So what you have is all these big employers now that need to find, they have plenty of employees wanting to work for them. But now you want to differentiate yourself. You want to recruit the top talent. And how do you find the top talent and make sure they stay at your company? And so that's where employee benefits really started. And in this sense, it was more form of a pension plan, but over the past 100+ years, the employee benefits has evolved from just a pension plan to obviously involve medical, 401k, FSA, HSA, and some worksite benefits that we'll cover on the call today. So one thing that hasn't changed over the past 100+ years is, one thing that has changed is the employer budget. It's getting tighter and tighter. Obviously in the past few years, it's been unprecedented, with the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's important to realize how much cost goes into hiring employees, right? The labor cost can, and this is from a statistic at Paycor, which is one of the leading payroll and HRIS systems in the country. Labor costs can account for as much as 70% of your budget. So other pieces of it, COVID costs, right? Figuring out how to become a hybrid. The way you did things 3 or 4 years ago probably isn't the way you do things now. And so there was costs associated with that. Obviously, there's a shipping crisis. I live in Newport Beach here. I can literally look out my window or go down the street and look at the beach, and you can see the freighter ships just lined up. So there's obviously that, and that can cause supply and demand issues. Commodity pricing, up 20, 30, 40% in some instances. Trade restrictions, interest rates going up. That's why the housing market's crazy. And of course, in order to live in this environment, people need higher salaries. So there's just a bunch of pinched budgets going on, yet you still have to find ways to incentivize people to come to work for you. And you have to figure out how to make it happen. So in a time of tight budgets, how can we continue to attract and retain a strong workforce? And that's really the point of the call today. That's where voluntary benefits come in. And that's, in my opinion, is the solution. So voluntary, it can mean two different things. We can make it 100% employee paid. So these are 100% employee paid benefit plans. There's no financial risk to the employer, right? So if you wanted to roll out voluntary life or disability or any kind of worksite product, and I'm the CEO, there's no cost associated with me. I just let my employees take advantage of it. Whoever wants it gets it. I'm off the hook for anything. I'm essentially just offering them an advantageous plan to take advantage of. This allows me to still be able to offer a comprehensive benefit package. So maybe I don't have the budget to, contribute 100% or 50% or like any dollars at all towards life, disability, dental, vision plans. This allows you to be creative with how you structure your contributions. It could be 100% voluntary, or you can make it 50-50 or 20-80. That's really what Ashley and Christina are here for, as your broker partners at Delaney, and that's what I'm here for when I consult with them. The benefits of voluntary it's similar to if you think about medical and the group concept, it's group rated, and that incorporates the law of numbers, right? So insurance carriers look at how many policies there are. The more policies, the more the spread of the risk is, which drives rates down. So you're going to have group rated policies, so a lot less expensive than individual policies. You're going to have guarantee issue amounts. And this is really important. Guarantee issue means you can apply for X amount of coverage with no medical questions. And we'll get into this in a little bit, but basically, if you have an underlying health condition, maybe you have diabetes, maybe you have a pre-existing condition like a cancer, you have a bad family heritage of like a heart disease, like we don't do background checks up to certain amounts of coverage, and that's a guarantee issue. You check the box and you're covered. Voluntary benefits, worksite benefits are payroll deducted. So when employees sign up, it just comes right out of their paycheck. This integrates with whatever HRIS system you're using, whatever payroll system you're using. It also offers the employees to take it with them if they were to no longer be at the company. Obviously, the whole concept of this is to attract them to work at your company, but they do like knowing that, hey, if something were to happen for whatever reason, I can still take this coverage with me, and that makes this offering all more valuable. So what kind of voluntary worksite benefits are out there? You're familiar with the medical, right? Almost every employer has to offer some sort of medical coverage to their employees. What these worksite voluntary benefits include are life insurance. So hopefully everyone understands life. It just pays a beneficiary or pays a benefit to your beneficiary when you pass away. You've got disability insurance. Disability insurance, I call paycheck protection, really easy to remember. Essentially just protects your paycheck if you're injured or sick and you can't return to work. Personally, I think disability insurance is the next best, most important benefit next to medical insurance, because without your income, without that asset, your most important asset, how are you able to survive, right? And provide for your family. You have dental and vision insurance, easy to understand, right? It pays co-insurance levels when you go and seek treatment from your providers. And then the last three here are supplemental medical. These are really important, especially in today's day and age when you have these, PPO or high deductible health plans. that, they have you meet an absurd deductible, or, it can range maybe $1,000 to $2,000 before insurance even starts paying in. That makes medical coverage affordable, but the employee is still stuck with that pretty significant gap in out-of-pocket costs. So all three of these benefits at the bottom here help fill that gap. And we'll go into a few examples here. So we'll talk about affordability and guarantee issue. Those were two things that were pros of offering a voluntary coverage. So let's take disability, right? This is the paycheck protection that I believe is one of the most important benefit plans you can offer your employer, whether it's employer paid or 100% voluntary or somewhere in between. Again, if you're sick or hurt, you can't return to work. That's the point of the paycheck protection disability. If you look at this benefit, like everyone has this, or everyone should want to have this, right? Whether you're on the individual market or the group platform, from a cost comparison standpoint, on an individual policy, if you're making we're just using $70,000 a year, typically it's 1 to 3% of your annual income is the premium you pay for an individual disability policy. So I just use 2% as the average. It might cost you $1,400 a year to protect 60 to 70% of your income. Okay, compared to a group platform, it might only cost you $20 a month. The policies are very similar, it pays you monthly benefit or weekly benefit, depending on which policy you're getting. But just look at that cost comparison. It's incredibly substantial. Even furthermore, life insurance, like I'm just using myself as an example. I pay $100 a month for a $100,000 individual life policy, right? So the rate is $1 for every 1,000. Which is what I was approved to get on the individual market, right? I might have some health conditions that I'm not allowed to, tell my HR director, but I have to fill it out on the medical exam. I'm only approved for 100,000. And my company, which is true, I'm able to get up to $100,000 guaranteed issue, meaning I don't have to answer any medical questions. Doesn't matter if I smoke or if I drink, or if I, have diabetes or a heart problem, or, my grandfather has XYZ condition, right? They're not looking into that. I just check the box and I'm covered. And as far as the monthly premium goes, it's $6 a month compared to $100 a month, right? So pretty significant. So I think, when we go out and we talk to employees about these opportunities, they're so appreciative of their company offering them this opportunity, right? Whether or not it's basic, or, employer paid or voluntary. Let's get into how it integrates with these high deductible health plans that we were mentioning. I'm taking critical illness, for example. Again, these high deductible health plans, you have to meet this deductible before insurance starts paying. So let's just say, and this is a real story, Susie gets sick with COVID-19, right? Now, there's not necessarily a benefit for the diagnosis of COVID-19, but if it becomes severe enough, which we've obviously heard stories where it is, and it starts impacting your lungs and your respiratory functionality, you could receive a benefit for this, right? You might have to go to the hospital though first. So you might be hooked up to a ventilator, have to be in the urgent care room for a few days. So in this example, she was hooked up to a ventilator, symptom of ARDS. ARDS is acute respiratory distress syndrome. That is a covered benefit under our critical illness plan, and it's most commonly associated with COVID. So she's got a high deductible health plan with her medical provider. And so she's got to pay $2,000 deductible before insurance starts kicking in. And then another $4,000 for all the hospital bills, right? So her out-of-pocket cost at the end of the day is $6,000. Thankfully, Susie's employer offered her the ability to purchase critical illness insurance. So we offer different levels. You can get, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way up to like $40,000 of critical illness coverage. She had 10,000. She was paying for $10,000 insurance, and she receives this in a cash payment, non-taxable, and she can put this towards whatever she wants. Obviously, this is meant to fill the gap that this deductible and the coinsurance has left for Susie. So she put 6,000 of this 10 towards those hospital bills. She can put the rest of it, the 4,000, towards whatever she needs. She's obviously going to have to be recovering for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, more than likely. So just have it go towards that. And again, these are supplemental medical plans. Other examples of this are, accident insurance if you're injured due to an accident, also hospital indemnity, and all of these plans you can protect yourself and your family members as well, which is really important. Now let's talk about the importance of education. You could have the best benefit program in the world. Ashley and Christina do a great job, right? They're going to give you a great plan. But if employees don't understand what's being offered, what's really the point of having the program in the first place, right? Remember back to the beginning, employee benefits are used as an attraction and a retention tool. But if they don't know that the benefits that are even being sponsored, well, that's not even impacting their decision whether to go with you or stay with you. So we really pride ourselves in the education component. I heard a story the other day, and it's actually pretty true. Picture yourself at the bar and you're trying to get the bartender's attention. So you throw in, a $5 or a $10 bill in the tip jar, but the bartender doesn't see you do it. So you just kind of threw away, $5 or $10 and you don't get any treatment. It's the same thing with employee benefits. If you're not educating your employees, you're just throwing money down the drain. So we pride ourselves in this. We can do face-to-face visits, webinars, call centers, custom videos. Really, we're super flexible, especially in today's day and age with the COVID pandemic. So I graduated with a major in finance and accounting. So I'm going to take us back to some algebra and some algebraic terms, and that's a syllogism. Okay. So I'm sure you guys probably learned this somewhere, maybe didn't know it was called a syllogism, but it's one of those things where I think this was actually geometry, where if A equals B and B equals C, then you can infer that C equals A, right? It's just logistics. And the same exact formula can be used when we offer employee benefits, especially on the voluntary spectrum with proper education. So what I mean by this is saying, hey, let's say a group offers voluntary coverage, and you have the proper education tool to go out there and help employees understand what's being offered. The employee is able to elect coverage and fill their financial gaps, right? So when they're able to do that, more than likely they're happy. They're going to have a longer retention at the company because they value what you guys are offering. Longer retention at the company means less turnover, longer careers. Obviously, when anyone's better at what they've been doing their second year than their first year. I hope so. If not, maybe they're not at the right job, but you get better and better as you progress. So that career longevity really is in turn, and the less turnover leads to minimized expenses and increased ROI. So therefore, using the syllogistic approach, offering voluntary coverages leads to reduced costs and increased ROI. Now, something you might even be asking yourself was, well, ROI is return on investment. You said that this is voluntary, right? There's no investment needed. Exactly. So literally there's no financial risk for you guys to be doing this. The profitability is unlimited, right? You just want to take care of your employees and they'll take care of you. So this is something that Ashley and Christina and I really work together on to make sure this benefit package is really creative and benefiting you, right? Sometimes it's not all about the insurance benefits. Hopefully now you understand why offering worksite products is important, especially on the voluntary spectrum. We also, work with our brokers like Ashley and Christina to find ways to add value in the form of a benefit bank. And what this benefit bank basically means is the more voluntary coverages you offer, the larger your benefit bank gets. And so you can use this bank to fund a lot of HR driven solutions. So FMLA, ADA outsourcing, depending on how large your employer is, you may or may not qualify. FMLA is 50 plus employees. I'm in California, so I know CIFRA is kind of the state regulated FMLA, and that goes down to 5 now. So we can help with that. But whatever your liabilities and financial liabilities are for FMLA ADA outsourcing, we can help with that. We have and it's not just Mutual of Omaha, it's a bunch of insurance carriers out there have a fully outsourced solution to save you time and money and make sure you're compliant. HRIS, Ben admin platforms, depending who's paying for that, we can help pay for it, right? We can also help build the plans for you. The way technology is progressing, it's imperative that you're getting your benefits and your payroll online. No more filing cabinets and paper. It's really important to get it all in one system. And I know Delaney Insurance is really good about that, so we can help pay for that. Perpetual open enrollment support, right? So we talked about the importance of education. Well, let's say you have new hires coming in month to month, right? We can help perpetually enroll them once a month. Again, we can do this in the form of webinars, call centers, in person. You don't want to just have one enrollment that goes really well and never do it again. You want to make sure that culture continues to foster and it's never gone, right? So we can help with that. Health fairs, wellness programs, and of course, when you bundle, right? Everyone knows the whole bundling thing, especially if you watch these progressive commercials. When you bundle any kind of benefits together, you get discount, and we can apply these discounts to your employer paid benefits that you're already paying for, right? So if you have a basic life benefit and you want to implement voluntary life, we might be able to save you $100 on your basic life invoice every month. So just, the standard bundling discounts, this is where we get creative, and we're kind of we're thinking off just the spreadsheet and trying to add value to you wherever we can. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. It's a really brief recap or brief presentation, just trying to get, the juices flowing, getting you guys to think creative and understanding the importance of voluntary benefits. Just as a recap, employee benefits, they're essential in attracting and retaining top talent, but they can be expensive. It's now more than ever, right? So voluntary benefits are the solution. They're zero cost, zero financial liability to you, the employer, and they help employees fill gaps in their medical coverage, right? And when they do that, when they make the educated elections, they're happy, they're more likely to stay at the company that's offering this to them. Why would they go somewhere else where they're not able to get it? So that increases productivity and lowers turnover and ultimately increases your return on investment. And then, regarding the benefit bank, ask Ashley, ask Christina.
Yep, he went on mute. Uh-oh, we lost him. Well, yeah, so I will follow what Bobby was saying and saying, yes, please contact us and let us know that you're interested in at least exploring this option. And we will definitely help and assist you in exploring this option. And you can reach us at ashley@delaneyins.com, and we'll be able to help you out. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Bobby, for presenting it. We're sorry that we lost you, but definitely stay tuned for more webinars in the upcoming months. And thank you again. Give us a call. And looks like Bobby's coming back on, so he can wrap up what he needs to if he wants to say a few more things. Oh, there you go. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that call drop. No, sorry, I missed if you followed that up with anything, but I think we pretty much got through the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. I was just was following up with what you were saying and get in contact with us, and we would definitely help start the process of exploring these benefits and looking to see, where we can make their benefit package more attractive and something that would be essential for their company in helping retain those employees. So definitely thank you, Bobby, so much for doing this for us, and we'll let everybody get back to their day. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you, Ashley. Thanks, Christina.